Hey, good morning, guys. It's Glenn with Lessons for Landlords. Today is Monday, and it's Coffee Talk with Glenn time, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I thought today I would kind of discuss with you, the 6 things to look for when finding that perfect tenant. Okay, so your house, your rental is worth a lot of money, and you just don't want to put anybody into that rental, obviously. You want to protect your investment. So while that renter is, renting your property and you hope that they pay the rent on time and they take good care of your property, they're not giving you thousands of dollars up front. They're giving you monthly rent. So you want to make sure you can protect your investment as they live there, okay? So whether you want to be, a real estate investor, a landlord, dozens of properties, one property, it doesn't matter. You don't want to be stuck with a problem tenant, okay? So listen, I rented when I first got married for a year, and so I was a tenant at one point. I did pay rent, and then after that, I owned my own home. So I'm going to tell you actually the 6 things that make a model tenant, okay? A perfect tenant, if you will. And as a landlord, you can only find the most qualified candidate and hope for the best. Isn't that the truth? You just have to hope. So listen, 6 qualities you can look for in someone who wants to rent from you. Number 1, they have to be able to afford the rent, okay? The most important criteria when someone contacts you about renting is whether they can pay the rent on time and afford it every month. You don't want them to be rent poor, okay? That's the biggest thing I tell my tenants before they even rent from me, okay? So they have to understand that they have to make 2.5 to 3 times the rent. It's very, very important, because if they can't make that money, they're not going to be able to pay the rent, and then they're going to start picking and choosing, what bills to pay. Okay, so it's really important. Number 1, they have to pre-qualify. They have to make 2.5 times the rent. Number 2, they must pay the rent on time. If someone that makes enough money if they have enough money every month to pay the rent and they're just continually late, that's a problem. So, some landlords will have late fees and penalties, and you have to have those in order, because if they're not paying the rent, they have to pay these fees. Nobody wants to wonder whether they're going to get paid this month, or they have to pay their own mortgage out of their own bills and their own money. It's stress. You don't want it. Again, they have to be able to pay their rent on time. You can find that out by calling their past landlord. You can sometimes see that on the credit check. Again, very, very important. The stability of their income. Okay, now I know with the virus going on right now, that some people might not be working or getting back to work, but I always look for somebody that's been on the job for a couple of years, that they have stability. You don't really want somebody that's a job hopper, okay? This means that they're going to move to another state, or they move from town to town, or they go to job. Again, stability is very important. Cleanliness. You want somebody to take care of your property. That property is your baby, okay? You have your money invested in that property, and if they damage that property, you're going to have to spend to get it back ready for the next tenant. So you want to find tenants that will take care of your property as if it was their own. A lot of tenants say that, but you really want to make sure that they move in and they treat that property like move-in condition when they found it. They didn't find it with holes in the walls, and they didn't find it with dirt all over the place and broken light bulbs. No, they found a perfect, beautiful, clean rental, and that's how you expect them to leave it, okay? Past history of criminal activities. Okay, you don't want to live next door to a drug dealer or a gang member or somebody with questionable morals. Um, you want somebody that's looking for a safe place to live and values the home, and that's a good tenant, okay? And the last, but the most important, low maintenance tenant. You do not want a tenant that's going to call you every week and complain about small little things, okay? That's a real pain in the butt for me. And if they are a complainer, I most likely won't renew their lease. I don't need them. I want someone that's going to take care of the property and not bother me unless, God forbid, there's a huge emergency and, from there. But if you're going to call me every other day and tell me about a squeak in the floor or just, small little issues that I don't want to be bothered by, that's not low maintenance. And if you are a high maintenance tenant, most likely I will not rent to you the second year. Okay, so I hope these 6 tips were helpful. This is Coffee Talk with Glenn. Enjoy the day, guys. It's beautiful. It's my birthday in 2 or 3 days. And, just sitting here thinking about, how lucky I am, to be a landlord in these times because, I am giving somebody a roof over their head that needs it, the security of them knowing that they have a great place to live. It really does mean a lot to me. So again, enjoy the day, guys. A day in the life of a landlord. Take care.